Mr.Graham Hopwood. I'm the Executive Director of the Institute for Public Policy Research. And it's my job to officially welcome you all, and thank you to everybody in the hall who braved the cold this morning. I know it wasn't easy to get going, with the temperatures being well below zero, and also welcome to everybody who's watching online on the IPPR Namibia Facebook page. So this event is being held under the auspices of the IPPR's Democracy Report project. And the Democracy Report project has been funded by the Embassy of Finland for the past 12 years, since 2010. And the Embassy of Finland actually has been a partner of the IPPR since the IPPR was officially launched as an institute in 2001. We just passed our 20th anniversary. So we are especially pleased to have with us today Her Excellency Williana from the Embassy of Finland. And the Democracy Report project over this past 12 years has been focusing on monitoring the work of Parliament, National Assembly and National Council. And the project provides regular updates on developments of Parliament and analyses pieces of legislation and other issues that are relevant to what's happening in the country and the issues that Parliament faces. The project produces two types of publications, and they're available with some of our more recent reports as well on the table outside. One form of paper is in-depth briefing papers and analysing laws and policy issues. And then the second one is shorter, accessible bulletins on parliamentary activities called Perspectives on Parliament. And over the past 12 years, the types of issues that have been covered by our papers have been quite wide-ranging. Our regular annual review of the national budget, I think, is the most significant publication coming out on the budget from civil society. We've also focused on issues relating to gender-based violence as another example, and more recently to explainers on things like the green hydrogen project, which is being promoted by the government at the moment. So as well as producing papers, we try to make sure that the project is in different ways an interactive one. So we seek to create dialogue platforms for public engagement around issues relating to democracy. Normally these are smaller scale events, and many of you will have been to our events at the House of Democracy, where we discuss and present ideas, new papers, new publications and so on. But we felt there was a need perhaps for us to do something on a larger scale on one of the big topics obviously in Namibia, which is what's happening in terms of our democracy. So that's the reason why we are gathered here today at the Safari Hotel. So in some respects, I think democracy could be said to be in good health in Namibia. Bradley already mentioned the Afrobarometer survey, and the recent findings of the Afrobarometer on these issues will be presented by Christy Kilder quite shortly. But some of the key figures that we picked up as being sort of the prompts for this conference is, first of all, on the positive side, 78% of Namibians in the last round of the survey said they felt somewhat or completely free to say what they think in Namibia, which is a high figure compared to much of the rest of the continent. Secondly, we know that the 2019 and 2020 elections, the national elections and the regional elections, well, obviously they weren't without controversy, but they were actually Namibia's most competitive elections since 1989, and various opposition parties made progress in those elections. And in addition, as a sort of proxy indicator for democracy, we know that the Reporters Without Borders global organization has found that Namibia, over a number of years, has had the freest media environment in Africa. In the latest one, we're in the top 20 in the world, although now second in Africa behind the Seychelles. But as Bradley that we have this worrying figure that only 56% of Namibians prefer democracy to any other system, and that's down from 76% in 2014. So clearly, at the moment, in the situation we find ourselves in now, many Namibians do not feel that democracy is working for them. And over the same time period, the Afrobarometer results tell us that Namibians are also losing their trust in many key public institutions. And obviously these two things are interrelated. So just looking at those figures, there appears to be a disconnect between the freedom that Namibians feel that they have, in the sense that they feel they can say what they want. And to be honest, if you look at social media, you will see that, because there's a huge number of critical comments around a whole range of issues, although not always that well informed, which is another challenge for us. But there does seem to be a disconnect between the freedom that Namibians feel and then also their disappointment and frustration that democracy is not actually delivering what they want, the progress that they want to see. And today, in a sense, the purpose of this conference is to look more deeply at that disconnect and why it is there. Why are Namibians losing their faith in democracy and their trust in public institutions? And perhaps more importantly, the follow-on question, which is, what can we do from our various backgrounds and in our various organizations to try and arrest and reverse these trends and to boost democracy in Namibia? And today's conference offers an opportunity to discuss these issues and to look at possible ways forward, looking at systems, processes and institutions. That's one of our sessions this morning. The role of the youth, we'll have a very exciting youth panel this afternoon, which the Namibia Media Trust has assisted with setting up. We'll be discussing the relevance of the media, and also we'll be looking later this morning at the role of civil society and the health of civil society in Namibia. So just you will see this conference isn't the usual, if you like, safari type event, in the sense that we don't have ministers and very VIP politicians and so on here, or at least on the platform, and not many of them. So I think part of the idea behind this was to make sure that we follow the old adage or cliche that politics is too important to be left to the politicians alone, and that every section and segment of Namibian society needs to be involved and discussing and engaged with the issues we're discussing today and the solutions that we can find to our problems. So I will end my remarks on that note, but I'm really looking forward to exciting discussions. We have a number of panels, but we'll try to open up the discussion as much as possible for points, questions, and so on from the floor during each session. So please do engage with us, and we'll try to involve the online audience as much as possible as well. So again, just thanks to everybody for coming, and look forward to an exciting, engaging day.